this video, we're going to be talking about teaching your dog the recall. The recall is when you call your dog and they come running to you enthusiastically. That's the goal anyway. With this behavior, it is the most important behavior you will ever teach your dog. So we have some really important rules for you to follow. The first one is you want to reward your dog every single time you call them. We want to use a jackpot with our recalls. What that means is I want to reward my dog for a duration of time, 15 to 30 seconds at a minimum. I want them to have a party every time I use their recall cue. The next rule is we want to make sure that we're calling our dogs when we know they're likely to respond when we're practicing it. So if my dog is rolling in something gross in the field, I'm not going to call them using their recall cue. I might just go get my dog. Or I'll wait for them to be done rolling in that disgusting stuff before I call them. So if my dog starts learning and practicing ignoring their recall cue, they're going to get really good at ignoring it. And we don't want that to happen. The final rule is if you ignored that last rule and you called your dog and they didn't come running, don't call them again. If they ignored it the first time, they're probably going to ignore it the second time as well. So just go get your dog or use an informal cue if you have to. Keep your dog nice and safe, use a long line, and bring your Cato board with you because we're going to be teaching our dogs a final recall position involving the Cato board. And the more you bring the tool with you, the easier it's going to be to practice and the better you're setting your dog up for success in those situations. So we're here with Vibrant and we're going to be teaching her how to come to the front position. This position is what we're going to be using for our recalls. And so we want to make sure she loves being in this position in relation to us. That recall, like I said earlier, is one of the most difficult behaviors to teach and to maintain. And so we want to make sure that that reinforcement history is as high as possible. Our dogs absolutely love being in this position so that recall is as powerful as it can possibly be. So she already knows to go onto the Cato board. She already knows to offer a sit in that position. It's one of the foundation behaviors I've taught her. Now we just have to teach her to move into this position no matter where she is. Get it? So we're going to use that treat toss again to make sure that she's moving away. And then when she moves in that position, good. I can go ahead and reward her multiple times. Good. Good. Get it? And then go ahead and toss that treat somewhere else. Good. Get it? I can even make it very difficult, get it, and toss that treat behind me so that she's having to really put in that effort, good, to move into the front position. Good. Get it? Good. Good. Now that it looks like she really understands this behavior, we can go ahead and start adding that recall cue. Good. For her, it's going to be here. Good. Get it? So after that treat toss, here. Good. Good. Get it? I can go ahead and add in my cue. Here. Good. Good. The next step of our recall training is to generalize our recall to new locations. We really want our dogs to be able to recall in any environment because we never know we're going to have to use this behavior. The very first step of teaching our dogs to recall in new locations is to start somewhere easy with low distractions, somewhere like your backyard or front yard. Once your dog is recalling nicely and easily and consistently in those environments, then you can increase the difficulty by bringing it somewhere new. We always want to make sure our dog is nice and safe though, so pick areas that have a fully enclosed fenced area or put a long line on your dog and hold the end of it. When we first start generalizing our recalls to new locations, I like to set up 2 Cato boards. So one to leave my dog in a sit stay on, and then I move to the second, giving my dog that recall cue. Having them in a controlled position helps eliminate potential for mistakes and helps set my dog up for success. After that, I can go ahead and replace the sit stay on the Cato board with a treat toss, just like we were doing when we were initially teaching the position. That treat toss helps simulate the dog sniffing in a new environment or getting distracted by things passing by. After that, I can go ahead and just let my dog interact with the environment itself and then give them their recall cue when they are least expecting it. That way it can prove their recall cue even if they aren't paying attention. That's it for teaching the recall using the Cato board. Happy training with your dog.